All right. So I wanted you to see this ad because I don't think you've seen it, but I think I played it once for you,
Put it
and
once.
I push it with every video because people just don't know enough YouTubing. They don't get it that it is beside making food and watching movies or watching dramas. There's so much to it. Anyways, so today we will discuss about how can anybody make $1 million from social media a year. And as I was talking last week when you were driving, that I want to make 10,000 people earn $1 million a year so that we can make $10 billion a month, sorry, so that we can make $10 billion a month for our country in international revenues, in US dollars. And there are a lot of people right now in Pakistan who are earning over $100,000 a year, and I want them to join your mastermind masterclass and become your student and pay you, I don't know, whatever fees you want to charge them, 10 grand, 50 grand, $20,000, whatever, and help them get into the mindset and system where they can actually make $1 million agency and make $1 million for themselves.
Hmm.
So, having said that, that's one angle which I want to create for you over here in Pakistan. I think that will give you, and you have a great advantage right now. Right now, there is nobody in the social media world who is as open to coming back and forth to Pakistan as you are, and this is a great opportunity for you and for others who want to take advantage of this opportunity. Whoever comes comes. Whoever doesn't come, they don't come, right?
Hmm.
So let's start with the Connected Pakistan. Thank you for accepting our invite and coming to the Connected Pakistan conference. And I am sure you would love it. There would be, at least 10,000 kids, and they would all want a selfie with you.
Oh,
And
good.
this is an event at I don't know exactly where he's holding it, but I'm sure you will have much more fun. The weather was better in September, and the weather wouldn't be so hot. Lahore is known for its food.
Hmm.
Did we go to Lahore?
Yeah, I spent a few days at your place, and we had
Oh,
Lahore fried chicken
yes,
and everything.
yes.
Yeah.
My brain is fried out. So yes, we can have more wonderful food, meet amazing people, and I'm sure it'll be wonderful when you come back. So people who don't know Dennis is one of the top experts in social media world. He speaks at a lot of events, and he has agreed to come back in September to come and be the part of the Connected Pakistan conference. Thank you, Arsalan, for the invite. Dennis earns over $1 million a year, and I want him to teach you how you can also earn $1 million a year. And he is already beyond money. He has done this, done there, been that, and I've spent 2 weeks with this amazing man, and he's wonderful. He really doesn't really care about money as much. Hey, but his interest is in the impact. He wants to create 1 million jobs in Pakistan and more places. But right now, the biggest, I think, the lowest hanging fruit for you, I would say, to create 1 million jobs would be in Pakistan, or at least easier job.
Hmm.
So we have been able to get him 21,000 students in the last 1 year in his Facebook group, which is tagged in this broadcast. You can join it. You can become a student. He's putting his money to to train you, to give you his courses. He has he's building a fantastic team. You can be part of his team. You can be part of his moderation group. You can be part of his teaching group. You can be part of his students. You can be part of his partners. But the whole thing is, you have to contribute in order to exceed. You have to show that you're sincere with the work which he's doing, right? It has to align with his heart and his mind.
Amen.
Now, do you agree with all this so far?
Yes, everything.
Right. So one of the things which I love about Dennis is that somehow he's very much like the Chinese American Rehan in the US. He's so much like me. I am so surprised that I really enjoyed hanging out. He doesn't really care about uh, things as much as impact. And so am I. I'm not interested in how well dressed I am, what kind of shoes I'm wearing, where I'm staying. I want to be in a nice place, comfortable place, but I don't want to be in a slum. But at the same time, my more interest is in impact. And I think Dennis is very much aligned with that. And I'm very grateful for the universe for letting me bump into him and connected with him and falling in love with this lovely man. Thank
Thank you
you,
so
Dennis.
much,
I
Rihan.
love you so much. So, coming to the seven-figure agency thing, and tell me what was the seven-figure agency event last week in Miami?
Mhm.
What did you speak about? And I was very happy that 3% of that event was Pakistani because three out of 100 people were Pakistanis, three brothers,
Yeah.
and um, I hope that more and more will participate in his event in the US, and I hope to be part of that in September or whatever it's happening next, and in multiple events like that because I want to connect with the people over there, and I want to thank you because of that small little plugin you did for me. So many were so happy that they were finally able to receive my inboxes. I was able to connect with 10 of them,
Oh,
so
good.
thank you so much for that.
Thank
So
you.
tell me, what was the event, what was happening, why should people attend that event, and what's happening?
Absolutely. I can explain, but I think it might be better to actually show you if I can share my screen here.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, let me share screen. And I just got this MacBook Pro, so I have to do a lot of these settings here.
Yeah, you have the
Let me,
settings there.
yeah, let me give you a little context into what's going on. So hang on,
Do
let
I
me.
open their website in the meantime for
Yeah, I'm
you?
gonna open this. Can you see this? Can you see my screen here?
Uh, Not yet. Yeah, I haven't. You have to allow Mac permissions and all that stuff.
Let me try one more time. I think it's a systems preferences thing.
Mehtab Yaqub is asking if this is multi-level marketing. It's absolutely not multi-level marketing. It's totally different. It's social media marketing, not multi-level marketing. There's a social media marketing means uh, you when you watch television advertisement, that broadcast advertising, when you see an ad on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok, that is social media marketing. When you see a post that, oh, I have a sale on pizza in my shop, that's social media marketing. It's totally different than what is multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing is you give commission to somebody to tell about you, and then they get commission to tell about them. It's like a whole MLM program, pyramid marketing. I absolutely don't like that. I'm not saying everybody's wrong on that, but I'm not into that.
All right, let me give you guys a little context.
Uh,
So my friend Josh Nelson started this group, and originally he started an agency called Plumbing HVAC SEO. So he served just plumbers and HVAC companies, and he grew his agency step by step by hiring people who did SEO, by hiring people who did websites, and built a whole team around that to several hundred employees. And I think now he is at 5 million, $6 million a year in just that one agency that he owns. But he documented what he did along the way very openly. The scripts to get new clients, things like Dream 100, things like how does he organize his team and his finances, how does he hire and train people, all the tools that he uses, the onboarding scripts, the landing pages, everything there. And he put it into a book called Seven Figure Agency. And that book is so good that a lot of people have read it. I've read it. I read it years ago. And he put on an event. So this event is for anybody who wants to start a seven-figure agency, or maybe they have a seven-figure agency and they want to make it an eight-figure agency. And so when I was in the room last week, Rehan, guess how many people physically in the conference room in Miami had agencies that were making seven figures, meaning they were making more than $1 million a year. How many people in the room?
I don't have a clue.
108. And one of them, of course, is RepStack, which is our Pakistani brother. So three of them, I guess, three of our, the Siddiqui brothers were part of this group of people that are making more than $1 million per year. And I believe, and I'm curious to see what everyone else believes too, that the best way to learn how to do something is from someone who has done that same thing. There's a lot of people who give an opinion on how do you make money on social media or how do you start an agency, but I look very closely at people who actually have done the thing and do they share exactly how. So when we were together in Miami, just in the last few days, we spent 3 days together. You can see this is the group, Digital Marketing Agency Success. And these are people that are sharing exactly how they do what they're doing, right? And they have questions. Hey, what about pricing? Hey, how do I do marketing for this kind of business? Hey, I just, here's a new person, right? Interviewing this person and how they're succeeding. And everyone here in this group, this is what I want you guys to understand. Everyone here in this group is openly sharing what they know. There's no competition. Even though, Josh, this guy here, has a plumbing HVAC company, other people thought, well, I don't think I can also join this group because I also have a I'm an agency that also serves plumbing HVAC. But now there's multiple agencies in there that serve that same niche. There's multiple agencies that serve real estate, that serve mortgage, that serve home services, that chiropractors. There's one guy, this guy, Billy Sticker. I think he's doing $3 million, $4 million a year. And look at what he has to say.
That we did with Josh Nelson. I've been a part of the program for about a year and a half now, and we already had a pretty successful agency whenever I joined, and we have still almost tripled our revenue since we joined the program. So if you have a successful agency and you're wondering, is this even going to benefit me? Yes, the relationships that you build, the ideas that you get, other people going through the same things.
You know what's crazy about this guy is he's such an open giver. And Billy, he works 4 hours per week. Can you believe that? Because he's grown his agency. And it's funny because you heard him say he's tripled his agency because everyone in that group, they share their numbers all the time. And they give out awards based on, hey, congratulations on the people who went from 10,000 a month to 20,000 a month or 20 to 30. Or the big goal is to hit $80,000 a month. Because if you hit $83,000 a month, that is $1 million per year. And there's people that hit 2 million and 3 million per year. But what's great is that he's working only 4 hours a week because he's built systems and processes and he has other people that manage the business. So he's a figurehead, he's doing deals and he's doing things that he wants. And so in this group, I'm able to share, and you'll see like I'm in this group and I brought Rehan on stage. Here's another friend of mine, Luke Engebrotten. I interviewed him. He started his agency just a couple of years ago, and now he's grown to $23,000 per month, which is not bad, right? And for those of you who have not started an agency before, $23,000 a month is $250,000. That may seem like a lot of money, but it's actually not a lot of money because that's just 20 clients that are paying you $1,000 a month, right? If you have the system to be able to onboard people. Let me tell you a few key things that they teach inside the group. First thing is you have to choose a niche. So in digital marketing, you cannot be a general agency. You cannot offer everything to everybody. You have to focus and you have to say, I serve just dentists, right? And so the minute you have one dentist, you can repeat that over and over and over with more dentists. Because then if a real estate agent comes along and says, hey, can you serve me? You have to say, no, I only serve dentists. And so that may seem like that's limiting you, but it actually allows you to scale because if you have, in fact, I just had lunch 2 hours ago with a friend of mine, and he has what's called a general agency or what's called a legacy agency where he has 10 clients and they're all in completely different industries. So they're all custom negotiated. It's very hard to be able to scale that because whoever is the owner of that agency has to be involved in every one of these deals. But if you're serving just dentists and here's the package and you repeat this package over and over again and you know exactly what the campaigns are that you can duplicate, the landing pages, the text messaging campaigns, the way you do SEO, the way you do video, the way you do everything is just exactly the same for every dentist, then it's very easy to scale. And that's why there's so many 7-figure agencies inside that group. What I'd like to see in Pakistan, to Rehan's point, is to replicate that. And I think that there's a huge, huge opportunity because if we can get the account management side, meaning talking to clients down, then I know Pakistan can absolutely crush it when it comes to the execution. So in the United States, we don't do that good of a job when it comes to like actually doing the, using the different tools and all the training that you have here, like all the different groups that Rehan is creating is great for this. So what I see happening is if we can get together, like these guys here speaking on stage. Hang on a second, it's noisy. A little bit noisy, Mr. Mark. I'm closing the door.
Hey, Mr. Mark.
This is my best-selling book, #1 best-selling book on social media right now in Amazon, which is cool. But when you see all these people here that are sharing, and they're sharing the checks that they're getting, they're sharing their wins and losses, they're sharing. This creates an amazing community, right? It's one thing just to have like books and YouTube videos, and everything that we're talking about, you can learn on YouTube for free, of course. But there's a difference when we're actually getting together and we're holding each other accountable and we're helping each other see things that we otherwise, like things I wouldn't see about my business, that other people are giving me advice and I can openly ask questions. And I think that, like here, these agency success interviews, and these are completely transparent. These people love to share, right? Imagine you had no competitors, or anyone who was a competitor, or anyone who was multiple levels more successful than you was willing to share exactly how they do what they do. Like literally, here's my SOPs. Here, let me put you in touch with my hiring manager. Let me put you in touch with the person who builds our campaigns, and they'll show you exactly how they do it. No strings, not even charging you anything. Like how you would think like it must be a scam or it's too good to be true, right? But that's what's going on in this group. And I've never seen another group that's like this. It's not the biggest group. So I speak in a lot of other groups and a lot of other masterminds. I'm going to Costa Rica in a couple days, where there's someone who is the second largest employer in the country. And, he's not sharing. I mean, he's very successful. He doesn't have to share, right? Look, they're giving out different awards all the time, right? And they're all encouraging each other. It's really good seeing this. They have a strong Facebook group, right? Look, here's an issue with WordPress, and other people, they jump in and say, oh, I'll help you, right? Other people are helping each other. So I would love to see this kind of community, but in order to make it work, we have to have the equivalent of a Josh Nelson, meaning a figurehead. And I think it could be maybe our Rep Stack brothers, right? I think Yawar and Azar and Athar, the 3 Siddiqui brothers who are in Lahore, well, I think one of them is in the United States. They can set the example for the other Pakistani digital agencies. So if you want to make $1 million in Pakistan as a digital agency, it's not MLM, it's about selling services to local businesses. So your clients are going to be in the United States. So they're real estate agents, mortgage brokers, chiropractors, garage door, all these different verticals. Just like in Josh Nelson's thing in the United States, you need to have someone who is good at account management, like being able to talk to the client, right? That's the most important thing. Because if you don't have that, it doesn't matter how good you are at building campaigns, driving leads, configuring funnels, all that kind of stuff. So you need that as one side. And the other side is you need the workers who are doing the different skills that we have listed here. So you can build a 7-figure agency if you know how to talk to clients, choose a niche, get your first couple clients, which is very hard to do, but you need to partner with somebody else. Like if you choose dentists as your niche, then you need to partner with someone else who has a successful dental agency so you could learn how to do it like an apprentice. If you just decide, you know what, I'm going to go out there and try to solicit all these American dentists and say, hey, I'm going to charge $2,500 a month. They're going to quit on you because if you don't deliver the results, if you don't know what you're doing, then they're just going to fire you, right? So you have to use a model that works. So that's the catch-22. If you don't have a successful agency and you start taking people on, they're just going to fire you because after a month or two, they're going to realize you're not driving the results and they just fire you. So the best way to do that, you need to work with other people. You need to be a part of a group like this, or we need to create our own group in Pakistan of people doing this, helping each other. The biggest thing, Rehan, and I think this is one thing you and I have in common, is we need people who have a spirit of helping other people. And I think maybe it's a cultural difference, or maybe there's just, for whatever reason, I found it harder in Pakistan. I'm not saying these people don't exist, but I have found it much harder to find people who want to openly collaborate in the way that we're collaborating, right? And it doesn't mean you have to already be very successful at the level of Rehan or me to be able to collaborate, but it's a certain kind of mindset. So if we can identify those people, and maybe Rehan, like you said, we charge them a nominal fee, like $2,000 a month to be part of this mastermind, and we'll help each other. Because Josh is not doing this for free, right? This group, I think you pay, is it $2,000 a month? And then you have to pay, there's another level that's like $5,000 a month. So if you are making $50,000 a month, it's not unreasonable to think that you would pay $2,000 a month. And if you're, I don't remember what the exact cutoff is, but maybe if you're making $1 million, you pay $5,000 a month, right? That's for access to the resources, to be part of the group, to be able to come to the events, for his team to be able to put a lot of these things together. It's very much worth it. It's like having, a co-founder that's helping you out. So I'd love to replicate that. I think we could replicate this in other countries as well. But for some reason, I only know this to be working in the United States in this one group. This is the only group I know about. And so it was really cool to bring you on stage virtually. And after I spoke, all these people came up, a couple hundred people. And I asked them, because they all said, "Oh, wow, great presentation, great presentation." And I said, "Really, what was the highlight?" And they said, "It was when you brought Rehan on. That was the thing that really touched my heart about how you want to create jobs in Pakistan. And these women, like, who work for RepStack, and how they're able to care for their families, even though in Muslim culture, women may be treated a little bit differently. It might be more difficult to get a job or do video or things like that." And that was really touching. So by telling this story, this gives you a huge advantage in terms of marketing, because there's a lot of people who run local businesses where, when I say local service business, I mean there's thousands of them that all do the exact same thing. They only differ by the city, like the real estate agent in Miami, real estate agent in LA, same thing, right? But all of them are going to resonate with the idea that we are helping our international friends in Pakistan. So not only am I getting services that are really good and maybe cheaper than I would get in the US, but I'm also helping other people. And so that's a differentiator. That's why they would choose the agency you start, or some of the agencies that we start together, versus some other random person, versus, hiring someone on Fiverr, right? The ability to manage clients over time is very different than just doing something on Fiverr for like $10 or something like that, right? Because you have to build a relationship, you have to learn account management, there's systems for reporting and project management and all that. And the beauty is we have taught all of that. I already have all the blueprints to be able to do that. So I'm happy to share all of that inside whatever group we start. And I'm pretty sure that Yawar Siddiqui, who's the main guy at RepStack, is willing to do the same thing. You're on mute, Mr.
I think Yawar is pretty open. When we had Chinese food the other day, and he was sitting over there waiting on you, and I actually recorded, and he was like, "I'm willing to share everything I know, and I will document everything, and I will share everything, and I will train everything, and I will open source everything." He was pretty open-minded about this. It's maybe because he has been hanging out with Josh Nelson and the Seven Figure Agency people before. And there are a lot of people, and I think when we start the caravan, we have a saying, "Akele hi chala tha janib safar, manzil janib safar, and karwa banta chala gaya." When you start alone, eventually there's a caravan which joins you on your journey. So I think if we start this with Yawar, and I know a couple of people in my mind who are running an agency, or who can run an agency, or who are doing well, I will be happy to connect the dots together, and then we can do this. And I think that there are a lot of agencies, or they claim to be running an agency, especially in Sunny Ali's group and Sakib's group, because Sunny started pushing this around 6 months ago, or maybe even more. And he was like, "You need to start creating agencies," and people start to understand the acronyms and what he's talking about. Or are you talking about creating a CIA agency? What kind of agency are you talking about? So I think people have started doing this, and I think I can make a group of people who are running agencies, and it should not be free, and it should be similar model, and we need to have a figurehead. I Let's wait on Yavar's response. I have another gentleman I know of who is claiming to run an agency. He's younger brother of our HR guy, Sajid, you know of, and he's claiming to run an agency. I will meet him and ask him to kind of do the same, or kind of mentor him to do the same. But I think it's pretty much replicable. And when I go to the website of Seven Figure Agency, he's offering his book, and the landing page is same as typical marketeer guy, and here's my book, give me your email. And I think if it's a couple of $1,000s a month, not everybody will be on board, but we can still try it out and see if you're making $1 million, $5,000 a month is not something, or $2,000 is not expensive, but you have to find the right people. And the sharing culture is here, but the trust is difficult to get. People are like, some people think that everybody's out there to get them. It's just how they feel. But eventually, a handful of people will lead, you know uh, make a huge change. Even if you don't underestimate the power of handful of people with full of passion and blah 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 and all that great stuff. So yes, it's fantastic. I hope Yawel will uh, do. I will collect people with him. If he doesn't know, I will. I know a few people in my mind, and then we can start making a small little group of people, and then start connecting with them.
Yeah, the key is about having the right people who want to share and help other people. It's hard to do that if you're not making money, if you're not successful. In the world of social media and digital, there are a lot of people that overrepresent their success, because they feel they have to pretend that they have a big team, or pretend that they're making all this money. Otherwise, they're not worthwhile and clients won't hire them. So there is a little bit of a chicken and the egg. But the beauty is, Rehan, between you and me, we know enough people. Like, just in the United States, I know several hundred people that have the most successful agencies, and they're friends of mine. They're happy to share. They have a mindset of abundance. So if we can just build an initial group, 10 people even. I remember when Josh first started his group, and I thought, man, this is going to be very hard for him to pull it off, because he just took one conference room and he decided to run this as a workshop, kind of as a test. And he brought in a few other people that were starting their agency, and he had other people that were successful, and he started to pair them together. So based on where you were, he had one coach, Danny Barrera, which he, in a group that he called On Ramp, which is everyone who's just trying to get to $30,000 a month. Then he has another group, I forgot the name of it, that goes from $30,000 a month to $80,000 a month. And then these other groups and these other coaches. And as he started to build the group to 50, 60 people, he had different people that were in charge of different things. Like, this person's in charge of PPC, and they help everyone PPC. This person's in charge of how do you write your first book, or how do you start a podcast, or how do you get these different people, and everyone would come in and they would volunteer to be in charge of one particular area. So anybody in the group who had an issue, this was the person who was the best at. And so I'm the person for personal branding and about hiring VAs, because we need a lot of VAs, a lot of virtual assistants to be able to process content, edit video, to build people's personal brands. So all these agencies are coming to me, and I love helping them. And you'll see in the group, I'm literally sharing everything that I know inside that group. So if we can create this culture with just, initially, I don't want to have a lot of people in this group. I want to have just a few people who believe in what we're talking about, who have this abundance mindset. We help each other. I think initially, even with just 4 or 5 people in the group, it's actually more powerful, because with just a few members, these folks will have direct access to Yawar and myself. So we're more able to help them. And as the group grows larger, we're going to need other coaches. But we're also being bigger. We can create more systems. We can start to have events, other things that can happen when you become a larger organization, right? But as you become larger, you don't have the same level of personal touch. So you look at how successful Josh Nelson is, and he has this group with 12,000 people in it. I think he cut it down from 20,000 because they had to meet certain criteria. And you have to report your income and other things just to show that you're serious, set goals. If you don't come to the calls, they kick you out, because it certainly makes sense. You only want to be in a group where people are taking it seriously and showing up. But he's grown it now to where he's got lots of other coaches, and they run the whole event. They run the coaching groups. They have calls 3 or 4 times a week. They have SOPs like you would not believe, like everything that you would need to run an agency. And the beauty is, I have all those now. And then I'm contributing to this as well. And I think there's no barrier to being able to set up the same thing in Pakistan, as long as you have a group of people from the account management side that can work American hours. So imagine setting up a Pakistani agency with Pakistani account managers and Pakistani workers servicing American clients, making American dollars. And the average is charging $1,000 to $1,500 a month per client. So if you get 50 of them and you're charging $1,500, you're almost there at $1 million, right? And that probably requires 30 people, 25 to 30 people, depending on how you organize it, to be able to service a base of 75 clients. So it's very doable. It's not a dream. In that room, when we were together in Miami, you were on the phone, so you couldn't quite see, but you were speaking to a group of 100. Well, the group was much larger because we had people on Zoom, but just in the room, we had 108 people who had 7-figure agencies. And all of them are helping each other. They're very humble. I've interviewed a lot of them on my podcast. So this is a real opportunity, and there's no better way than to learn from the people who have done it.
Wonderful. So I think if I will call Yawar, I don't know if he's back. I will send him another message that he should definitely do a presentation how to become $1 million agency, and he can just walk them through RepStack. And then when I will do an interview with them, or I will do a documentary on him or something, so that we can actually start getting the awareness part up and running. And I will go ahead and create another course or something like a group for people who want to create a social media agency. And then from that, because the moment I make a post, there are like hundreds and thousands of people coming in. They don't even read anything. They just jump in, and then out of those we can select 10, 15 people, or 5 or 10 people who are actually serious and who actually want to do this. And let's see if we can. I think we can pull it off. It will, event slowly but surely. It's not something which is, it's pretty simple stuff, but it's a lot of work, a lot of discipline. There's a lot of work to get done. A lot of, and as you said, you have a lot of SOPs and whatnot. So, and you can. For you, we can do another workshop for them who are people who are running an agency, how to grow your social media agency. So if you can request Arsalan, so give you like an hour long, whatever long workshop, and we can do another workshop while you are in Lahore on Sunny Ali's incubator and how to grow your agency. And we can do a longer workshop, like a 4-hour not seminar, but a workshop, like do this, and we can try to get get 20 people, 50 people, 100 people who are actually running their agency, but they're maybe at a couple of $1,000s a month to a larger agency. So we can walk them to the SOPs, and that will allow us to find the sincere people who you can then groom into a larger $1 million agency group. So there are a lot of mountains, but we have to find the diamonds within the coal mines which are here. And in this country, that's the work. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of smart people, but finding the smart people, because they're shy, they're not trusting. So I have to do a lot of these groups, and I have to do a lot of these broadcasts to find that one person, and I have to go a lot of places to find this one person. But they do exist, and it's so weird that, like, after you were gone, I went on a tour for 10 days to smaller cities in Pakistan, and you wouldn't believe the kind of, out of every 100 people, I found 1 or 2 people who were earning $5,000 or $10,000 a month, but nobody knew them. And because I was there, they just popped in, I need to tell you my story, and I need to tell you that I'm making this amount, and then I will put them on the stage and then make them the person, and then everybody would start gravitating on them. So it was very interesting. Even this week, I just announced that I'm going to this small little town in near my city, and three boys popped up out of nowhere, 14 years old, 16-year-old, 22-year-old, making each a couple of $1,000 a month. I was like, what's happening here? So it's just that they're just shy and they just don't believe enough in themselves. Here's another one. This is a 14-year-old boy who's running a small little agency, and he's just 14 years old. He was like,
Congratulations. Yeah, Nana, awesome. I'd love to hear more.
Nana means little, a freelancer, and as his name is Essen. So he's like little freelancer Essen. So he's just a little sweetheart, and he has this event on Wednesday. He booked up a room in a workshop, inviting 120 people or something, and it's the process which will eventually find us this. So thank you for your time. What else do you want to add on this, Dennis, if anything?
I'm excited to come back to Pakistan. I want to make this a regular thing. We're going to be in Lahore for the Connected Pakistan. I want to say that's September 25th to 27th, but I'm going to be in Pakistan before that too. So I'm hoping to see some folks in Karachi, Islamabad. We talked about teaching at some of the universities. I want to put all of our content and training out there for everyone to consume in Pakistan for free, even though we've charged for it in the US and we've made a few $1 million in the United States charging for this training. A lot of it we have given access to in our group, Digital Marketing with Dennis Yu. And in the last 2 weeks, I think we've hired 5 people, which is great. So even if you have no money, even if you don't have any clients, you have not started your agency, you're not sure what to do, if you engage on the posts in that group, then you will get access. So as you take action, you will unlock more. But we're not just going to give you things, because our experience has been that if we just give you access to everything, you end up doing nothing. This is just kind of what happens, is like, too much. And then take some action, get a little bit, take some action, give a little bit. And I'd like to get most of this stuff out there so that anyone who is serious, they can go through these fundamentals for free. Rehan and I have created a lot of training. Rehan's created a lot of groups of other experts in different areas. So you guys that are watching, you can consume all of that. So if you do, and you honor these other people by making 1-minute videos, by making a blog post about it, by learning how to set up your LinkedIn, showing that you are serious and diligent by following these fundamental pieces that we're teaching, then that is your qualifying ticket to be able to join our groups. Because then we know that if we invest time in you, that you're going to be serious. And if we help you get clients, which is the most difficult part in starting an agency, if we give you clients, then we know that you're going to take care of them. A lot of people say, I'm ready to start my agency, give me the clients. This is not like I'm giving you corn to be able to roast in your roadside stand. These are real people. These are relationships. This is the trust that we have. So if we get, it's like giving someone your child to take care of, right? So if you can go through these different steps, and maybe we have some kind of fee, because this thing takes time, just like a university degree, just like starting any kind of business and building an asset, then this can be a very good thing. And I'd love to see as many of you guys as possible, ideally in Lahore at Connected Pakistan, but elsewhere. And if you're watching this, reach out to me on LinkedIn, join the group. Don't message me. I'm sure Rehan gets this all the time. Don't be hitting me up in DMs and Facebook message. Don't be asking for my WhatsApp. Build trust first. Learn how to communicate, because this is how you're going to, if you learn how to do this, this is how you learn how to communicate with American clients. And when you do that, sky's the limit, right? The biggest gap, Rehan and I think agree on a lot of this, is learning how to communicate with these American clients. And I can't wait to introduce you guys to a lot of the people I know, some really cool people here. And I think I can convince many of them to even come visit in Pakistan. Initially, we'll do it through Zoom or these StreamYards, things like this. But I think, with people like Rehan, we can build these bridges together. I'm very excited about that. Thank you so much, Rehan.
Well, bring along more marks with you so that they can enjoy, they can see, they can breathe the air. There was one social media lady this week in Karachi. I couldn't see her. She was here for a wedding, but it's her first time. So I think it was interesting for her to experience. There are other people. We need to create more programs. So Dennis, I need your help. And just look behind a few years ago. What were the things which were happening, which need to happen? But they can be as small as a one-room Comic Con. They can be one room small little marketing con. They can be the whatever conferences you're going to. I believe in numbers. I believe that there are so many people in the country that everybody is interested in doing something, but they're not serious. But
Mm,
at least by trying, they know that they're not serious about this.
mm,
So I'm that kind of a person. I want to throw it out there. If it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it's fine. It's just
mm,
ruining my reputation, which is fine. I'm willing to ruin my reputation, but I am the guy who's plowing the sand, who's trying to move the sand around and do
mm,
something with it. So some things will stick, something will not stick, which is fine. And I can start another 100 groups, another 1,000 groups. I don't
mm,
mind if somebody takes care of it, fine. But even if I get 5% rate of success, which is good enough for me, because something will eventually stick.
mm.
So think about those things. We will start. If anybody here is running a social media agency, if you have at least 3 people working with you or for you, and you have already got US clients, please inbox me your revenue, how much you're earning. If you're earning over $3,000 a month, I'm very seriously interested in setting you into a group. If you are not part of this and you cannot contribute to this, I would not be interested in talking to you, because you're just going to waste my time. You grow yourself, you become to a $3,000 month agency yourself. There's tons of content out there, and then I'll be happy to hold hands with you and grow you. You're where everybody who's watching is welcome to come to Connected Pakistan conference in Lahore in September. It's in a month's time. You can meet us there. You can attend the workshops. You can grow yourself. Don't ask to help you if you're not willing to hold your own hand and grow yourself. You're just wasting your time and our time. Holding hands doesn't help. You have to hold your own hand. There is enough infrastructure in Pakistan available. There's extreme commerce everywhere. There's enablers everywhere. There's YouTube everywhere. There's internet everywhere. Please stop bullshitting yourself and start working on yourself, and stop wasting other people's time that you need their help. If you cannot help yourself, nobody is going to help you. In Quran, it says clearly, God does not help the nations who do not want to help themselves. You will not be helped by a human being, even if you're not willing to stand by yourself. Nobody can coach you if you're not willing to be coached. So, having said that, thank you again. Welcome back, Dennis. Bring along as many friends as you like.
Yes.
We'll be happy to host them as best as we can. Um, and see how it goes through. If you can tell me the dates,
Mm.
I was going to run away from Connected Pakistan, but now I'm going to stay because you're coming. And if you since you're certain, and if you want to tell me the dates, maybe after uh, or before, we can spend a week in Karachi. You
Yeah.
can just my home. You can enjoy the city. You can we can take you around. I think 7 days is very little time to spend in Karachi. It's a very gigantic
Mm.
organism, to be honest. You can just go 5 of my. Oh, you were here in Karachi for 2 days. Oh, I forgot. I'm like, where am I? So, yeah, you have seen enough. So yeah, 7 days is good.
I'm
Um,
allowed 10 days to visit Pakistan. So maybe it's going to be, maybe it's like 3 or 4 in Karachi, 3 or 4 in Islamabad, and 3 or 4 in Lahore, something like that. However you think it's best to allocate my time. I'm allocating 10 days, and I'm going to bring some American friends.
Okay, let me know who's coming. Make an announcement. So I have to organize, as a host, how many I can handle. Don't bring too many unless there's a conference for them. We were thinking of doing the Bahawalpur conference in September. Also, I don't know where Wakar is on that. Pafla is interested in doing many conferences. They're doing one in Gilgit Baltistan area, which the prime minister there is attending himself, and he is host himself.
Mm.
So that's a heavy duty conference, but it's in a different part of the country. It's very
Mm.
remote.
Mm.
It's like going to Alaska,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
it's gorgeous there. Though it's the K2 mountains, where all the mountains are, where Mark wanted to go.
Yeah.
And actually the higher mountains, not even, but the K2 is in south, but Gilgit Baltistan is even further up, and that's where that one is happening. There's tons of stuff happening, but I think a lot is going to happen. You're welcome back. Bring your friends, connect them on social media so they can see what's happening. I am very proactive on the Canva Fiverr thing. If we can go and meet Fiverr and Canva people, um, that will be great. I am willing to hire some people from my pocket for Canva and Fiverr in Pakistan just to give customer service. Because
You
people
saw
are
we have the monthly webinar together with Fiverr. So Fiverr asked us to do this. So I'm very excited to teach there. It's just
I
nice having the support of Fiverr.
I would be very happy to be anything with Fiverr, Upwork, and Canva right now, because I want to help 100 million people who are just coming on board on smartphone, who are not using smartphone properly. I need something like a Pickworker or a microworkers.com or picoworkers.com or mturks.com, because that's where the stages of these people. They're like at $100. They're happy at $100 a month. They're not looking for $500 a month. That's the funny part. That's the weird part, which I have, that I tell them you can make $500. They said, no, I don't trust you. You will not pay me $500. Give me $100. I will be happy. That's the kind of mindset I have to deal with. So if we can crack this code and we can get them something which they can do, like micro workers or pico workers or mturks, they want to be mturks. But once they are on mturk, they are at $100 for a few months. They will grow themselves from there. Um, Anyway, I don't want to keep you for long. I heard your alarm going off. Thank you so much for being with us. Lots of love.
Thank you, Rehan. And thank you, everyone else. I'm looking forward to connect with you.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Have a good night. Good day.
All right. Thanks, Rehan.
All right.